Hello everyone, today we got to play No Siestas.
La Granja, No Siesta.
Yeah, but before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because board games are amazing. And that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. All right, so Randy, tell us more about this particular game.
So La Granja, No Siesta was a 2016 release. It has a Board Game Geek rating of 6.8 currently and is currently ranked at 1633. It is a 1 to 4 player game, average length of 30 to 45 minutes, age 10 and up. With all the iconography, that's probably about right.
That is probably.
This was designed by Andreas Ode Odendahl. He just goes by Ode on his games. Art by Harald Liesk, which is also the same artist that did Notre Dame, which we just played the other day. And it was published by Stronghold Games. The MSRP on this was $29.95. It is out of print, however. It's being sold on eBay currently for $40.61, which is pretty pricey. I got it as a part of a deal where Stronghold was selling a bunch of their games in bulk, and this one was $5 for me. So I like the $5 price a lot better. This is a dice version of La Granja, which is currently up on Kickstarter with a deluxe version. This is not available on the deluxe set.
All right, so let's talk about quality of pieces. So basically you do have wooden dice that are stickered for the different resources that you'll end up drafting. And then you'll also have your wooden player tokens that you also use kind of as storage capacity almost, because you got to have them to be able to store stuff, but then you end up using them for long-term victory points. And then you have the first player pig, which is kind of cute. And then you have some cardboard chips.
And some golf pencils.
Yeah. So overall, I don't think there's anything outstanding. I'm probably going to give this a 5.5.
Oh, and you do get, of course, the pad of paper to write all of it on. It's two-sided. And then your score pad.
Yeah.
None of it is outstanding.
Except the pig's kind of cute.
Yeah, I mean, the dice were pre-stickered. You didn't have to do it. It looked like someone actually used this game, even though I got it brand new from Stronghold. When it came, the punch sheet boards were all punched out except for like a handful of pieces in them, and they were all bagged. It wasn't like they fell out in transit. They were bagged individually. So it looked like someone had opened it and played it, but there was no sheets apparently missing, so I don't know. It just was odd.
Well, you know.
So at least it saved me some work. I didn't have to punch. There's only 2 small punch boards, but I saved that time.
All right. So, so you would agree?
Yeah, I think 6 is probably about right. It may be a 5.5. It's not much better than a typical Catan set.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now let's talk about theme. So it's kind of disappointing because where we did the Ganges the other day, and that roll and write was literally a miniature game. That is not the case with this one.
No, they have the same types of resources, but the gameplay is totally different.
Right, and there's components because you're filling up the roof tiles, and there's some things, but it didn't necessarily feel as strong as the other game did. But overall, I mean, it's a farming game, and you're collecting, resources to kind of build up to complete market transactions. So in that case, I guess it's the same. The art style is very much the same from this one to the other game. But overall, what would you kind of score it?
Thematically, I'm probably going to give it a 6 as well. I don't think it's anything outstanding. It does capture the farming feel. That's the only reason I'll give it a 6.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. The art's all right, but yeah. All right, so now let's talk about the rule book. How was the rule book? So
the rule book is, it's obviously a small box game, so it's small, but it's 30 pages long. So it's very...
It's got a solo mode, though, right?
It has the first 21 pages are how to play the game, except for the cover, obviously. 20 pages of actual text. There is an experienced game where you basically swap out the workers, your helpers, with a standard pool of helpers that people can select from. And then there is a solitaire game, yes, and that's four pages, and then no, actually it's 6, 7, 8 pages, 8 pages long. So yeah, it's all in all, if you're wanting to learn to play the game, you're going to be reading about 20 pages worth of text, and it's not hard read. It's actually a decent font for this size of a book because the book is small, but the it's a dry read, and there are a lot of rules with each of the different things. It's basically just trying to learn how to score each individual section of your board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all in all, I'll probably give it a 7. It does a fine job. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing outstanding.
Yeah, a little dry. All right, so now let's actually talk about gameplay. So the gameplay is dice are dependent, or no, you roll the dice all the time no matter player count?
Well, no, they are dependent on player count. So with 3 players, we played with 7, but with 4, you would have 9.
Okay,
so
cool.
You take out 2 for each player, you would subtract.
Okay, cool. All right, so you roll the dice. And then if I'm the one that rolled, obviously I will pick which one I want to do. And in this case, Siesta the little hat looks good. And so then I'm going to pass them. Randy's going to pick one.
So then I would select, say, a pig. And instead of actually marking it on your sheet, you actually use these little discs and you mark it up at the top, because you could potentially run out of discs before you get all your dice.
Right, and like I said, so in one aspect it functions as a storage capacity, not just, and so we'll say the third player takes this. So it comes back to me. I'm actually going to re-roll the dice this time.
Yeah, and there is an alternative way of playing that's more like the game, where the dice stay in play and you choose from those. You don't re-roll them. But the standard way is to re-roll them.
Right, so again, everyone takes one.
Take a hat this time.
He's going to take a pig. All right, and so that last die, I roll it again, right?
No, yeah, you'll re-roll that die.
And then
everyone
gets another hat. All right, so there's a couple of things that end up happening now that everyone has chosen what the resources are. Now they kind of play simultaneously, and you can decide how you're going to do those. Now, with this, you're trying to fulfill order. So as you can resources to fill in parts of orders, and you don't have to have the full order, but you can do parts of them. And then when you complete an order, then it will trigger a benefit or a bonus or something to occur. In this section here, you'll be able to place a worker tile, which gives you a ability throughout the rest of the game. So you have to kind of pick and choose which one works best for your strategy. And then the other ones, when you finish something, it kind of actually goes hands in hand with your worker powers. Otherwise, there's no special benefit except for some bonus points and maybe a commodity. Other than that, you kind of need these to get kind of some extra stuff going on. Except for the roof tiles. If you complete the roof tile, then there's a master pool for the roof tile. And you'll pick one and you'll place it down. However, one of the special abilities is to draw 2, pick 1, right? So all of those kind of modify those, as you complete different orders, what it kind of does. And then the other part of the map is the hats, or the Siesta track kind of, and it's actually the timer for the game. So in this case, I got 3 of them because I thought that was cool. Because I've gotten 3, I go, it's going to be worth 3 victory points at the end of the game. You're not going to get them right away. You're going to end the game every hat that you have. But I will also have the availability at certain points in this track, get additional tokens, which will lead to more storage for these different items. The other piece of it is that when you complete this portion here, you'll be able to choose a end of game victory point option. Now, only 2 people can be on any.
Well, it's depending on player count.
Depending on
one less than the player count.
Right. For these, you have to pick and choose what gets you the most victory points. And so there's a little bit of that as well. But then that permanently takes up one of your tokens, right? So then that you have less storage, and that can get kind of difficult towards the end of the game when you're kind of working through that. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't, I think, as good as some of the other roll and writes that we played, but I still thought it was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a cool dice drafting farming game. Yeah,
the only complaint I had about it is it felt like everybody was going to fill everything pretty much every time, unless somebody just raced the clock, which we didn't do. But by the end of the game, we all pretty much had filled our boards. I mean, there was a few things here and there, but there wasn't much variety in scores. We were all pretty much, everybody got the same points except for whoever got the deliveries made first got the bonus for that delivery. It was pretty homogenous at the end.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you won by 10 points. You can't really say that.
Actually, your dad won.
Oh, Dad won by 10 points.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's necessarily
That's
true.
because he made the deliveries, 2 of the deliveries before.
No, that was me.
You made 1.
I made 2.
Oh, you made, never mind. But in all, it didn't feel like there was that much discrepancy in the way we played. Everybody played the same. It was not like you had your own unique style of playing this game.
Well, I mean, I do think the way it was done, I may have gotten those 2, but I think because Dad got all the roof tiles, he got all those extra bonuses and therefore was able to get ahead of us. Because I didn't focus on roof tiles. I focused on, down here on my lower board quicker. And I think that ended up costing me, not a lot, but it did. So there's a little bit of that too.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like there was much variety in this, is what I'm saying. It felt like everybody was going to end up doing pretty much everything.
Part of my completionist likes the fact that I will be able to complete the board, but another part of me thinks is that the game maybe is too long, because I'm not going to end something when I know I can complete the board, but at the same time, that maybe not be the best strategy.
I'm saying, if somebody races the clock, then that changes things. Well, none of us did. So we were all taking our leisurely stroll up the clock.
Right, and there were times that we were like, I don't want to siesta. I don't want to see. I don't want to go up the track. I don't.
Well, the thing is, it's kind of penalizing. I mean, yes, you get a victory point for each siesta hat you've collected during the game, but you're giving up a lot more points on the board by not taking resources to get them in. And one thing we didn't mention is when we're doing a delivery, you have to have a donkey or more donkeys, 1 or more donkeys, to complete the delivery lines. But they give you an out with that by giving you a worker, helper, that will actually negate the need for the donkeys. So the donkey felt kind of useless in this game. So I didn't like.
Well, I mean, there were a couple of other places for donkeys because you have
very few.
Well, no, you got that whole section down here. You're right, though.
Yeah, the donkeys became much less important. I think they should.
I almost feel like this should have been 1 less donkey.
Yeah, I think totally negating the donkey it was a little overpowered.
But yeah, so overall, I think that was the thing. But still, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. It's not one of the best roll and writes. It's not the worst roll and writes we played.
No,
it's for the course.
Yeah,
it is,
and it is very small and portable.
Yes.
It was kind of a disappointment because we really liked La Granja so much, and this one was not up to this par by any means as La Granja.
I mean, it was okay. So, I mean, I agree with you, but giving this a score, what would you give it?
I'd probably give it a 7. I think
I'm there. I'm there at a 7. I mean, it was okay. It was fine. I'd play it again. Will I remember to pull it out? Probably not, but, I mean, it might happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have time for a full game of La Granja, but you're jonesing for a game of it, this might tie you over. I would personally rather play La Granja any day, though.
Yeah, but we are short of time a lot of times, so not enough time to fit the day. Okay, all right, guys, well, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast today, and hopefully you'll come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.